The San Francisco 49ers get molly-whopped in the desert. That's right, they get their tails whipped. And I tell you what, we'll break it down right here on the Wayne Breezie Show. Stick around. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Wayne Breezie Show. Shout out to all the faithful out there that is tuned in after getting embarrassed on TV. Here's the cool thing. I always look at the bright side of stuff after the fact, right? At least it wasn't national televised. It wasn't a primetime game. And for 3 quarters, it was a fight. For 3 quarters, it was definitely a fight. And so, the 49ers, 6-11 on the season, definitely a down season, some regression there. Definitely a lot of injuries, a lot of bad coaching, bad execution, just a bunch of bad. If I had to sum up, the 49ers season in one word, it would be bad. Matter of fact, I tell you what, in the chat, in the live comment section, if you could sum up the 49ers season in one word, what will it be? All right, let me know. Shout out to the Breezy Bunch crew, all the members of the channel. They will definitely get first priority. That's what their membership is for. Got to start catering to my members. Now, if you want to become a member, all you got to do is click on that join button. You could subscribe to the channel, for free. So please go ahead and do that. If it's your first time, hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, all right? Subscribe to the channel. Feel free to leave a comment as well. And, if you want to support the channel, man, that's what the super chats are for. So please continue to, if you want to give your super chats there for the channel. But first and foremost, just hit that like button. That's the only thing I really care about, all right? And subscribe to the channel if this is your first time watching. We're almost at 6K, and I definitely want to celebrate. But shout out to the members out there for just being members of the channel, as well as those that are moderating the channel. I definitely wanted to appreciate you guys, for tuning in, all the members of the channel. Just after a game, I try to, especially a loss, I try to kind of just remove myself so that I'm not too emotional, Now, I do, if those that don't know, I do now the post-game live shows on Bleacher Report. So if you're not seeing the instant reaction shows like I used to, those are no longer here because of the post-game lives that I do on Bleacher Report. So you guys got to follow me on Bleacher Report. It's a great app to download. Download it for sure. And then I do the post-game live shows over on there. And so, that's pretty much, where I do the post-game reaction shows. But, it's when I'm on there, I know I got to follow their format. I'm definitely kind of I don't know. I just let it all out. I let it all out on there. You know what I mean? I let it all out on there for sure. Got a lot to get to in today's episode. I'm going to be changing up a lot of things as far as the time of the show, things like that. Shows are going to be no more, I would say, than an hour. Definitely want to try to cater these shows to 45 minutes. YouTube is definitely changing. They want shows to be shorter. And so I'm going to follow what YouTube is asking me to do. I hope you guys don't get mad, but I definitely promise to bring you more content. Now that the off season is here, maybe I'll go 3-4 days a week just with this particular show, the Wayne Breezie Show. We'll see, what happens. Now I asked you guys to put it in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Disappointing. Eddie G and the B-Dogs. Disappointing. I get it. I get the disappointment for sure. I get it. I get disappointment. 1,000% disappointment. And you're not wrong. You're not wrong for the disappointment. All right. I do want to stop it there. We got our first super chat contribution of the show. Shout out to our member, Jax Knox. Good morning, Wayne and Faithful. I got a question. Is Brock P really damaged goods? Starting the show off hot with the question. Hot topic. Is he damaged goods? That's a great question. It's funny because I talked about that yesterday on Bleacher Report. Somehow the Bleacher Report, their team, they are great. They're great. They put up that clip, and I hope that doesn't go around. Damaged goods. So Brock Purdy is dealing with an injury. It's not major. We don't know if it's major. How about that? We don't know if the injury is major. He did get injured 2 games ago in a Detroit Lions game toward the end of the game on a sack play. And in that game, he talked about, his shoulder, whatever it was on fire. And so like, I just, that's how he was describing it. Now, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, on the televised TV, they said that if this was a playoff game or it had playoff implications, that Brock Purdy would have played in the game. So that's why I don't think the injury was too serious. But I think you do have to take his injuries with his throwing arm, elbow, shoulder, anything. You have to take that into consideration, because we're going to talk a little bit about Brock Purdy today. When you're talking contract extension, you have to take all of that stuff into consideration. So is he damaged goods, to answer your question? I mean, can I say no? But there's a possibility that he gets re-injured, and what if it's the same shoulder? And then maybe we can kind of revisit that question. But thank you, Jax, for the super chat contribution. Truly appreciate it 1,000%. Truly appreciate it 1,000%. My man Matthew says being a member had its perks. Trust me, I know. Became a member. Appreciate that, man. 1,000%. I'm looking for some more words. Like, for me, it was just bad. Like, I felt like no matter what the Niners did, it just ended up bad. Like, it just ended up bad. They did good, and then it turned bad. Like, right? Like, no matter what it was crazy. It was crazy. Here's what I'm expecting from the San Francisco 49ers moving forward. Changes. And I'm talking drastic changes. I'm talking big changes. You know what I mean? I'm talking big changes. You get what I'm saying? I'm expecting drastic changes. And it's going to start with the coaching. I definitely think it's going to start with the coaching. And we're going to have to sit there and wait. We're going to have to sit there and wait to see when Kyle Shanahan decides to let the stuff out of the bag. But once he does, we will decide, and we'll be able to determine what's going on. Hopefully Kyle Shanahan lets us know in a few days, like he said in the presser yesterday. He said, listen, man, I'm going to address stuff later on in the week. Point blank, period. Shut the gate on everything. Tanisha, what's going on? Good morning, Breezie and the Breezy Bunch. Hope everyone's having a great new year. The good thing about, us, the faithful, we come together, we roll together, we ride together, we die together, we bad boys for life. That's how I feel we are. Win or lose, we in this joint to the very end. Like, win or lose, we in this joint to the very end. You know what I'm saying? Boats, what's going on? He says the whole year just had a bad vibe. Yeah, like from the beginning, from the Rudy to the Patootie, like from the beginning to the end, like it started off bad and it ended bad. It had its good moments. It's almost like I'm trying to think of something that, it's honest. I felt like the 49ers, the 2024 49ers were kind of like on their last leg. Like it still gave you what you needed, but it let you down more than it picked you up. You know what I mean? That's how the Niners were in 2024, and it just started with injuries. It just started with some serious freaking injuries. It truly did. It started with serious freaking injuries. You know what I mean? So just a bad vibe from the beginning to the end. You go to camp, it was crazy, holdouts. Then you get the tragic moments with some of the players on the team and losing family members. It was just Ricky Pearsall, that situation. It was just like the best part of 2024 was the draft. I think the 49ers hit on just about every draft pick, from the first round pick to maybe the 7th round pick. Like literally, we didn't get to see a lot of Tatum Bethune, but he got injured. But he did. I thought he played a damn good game yesterday. So we'll see. But I felt like the best part of the San Francisco 49ers in 2024 was the fact that they showed up every week and we got to watch these draft picks, kind of like manifest in front of our eyes. So we're going to see what they're going to be like in year 2. 1,000%. We'll see what they are in year 2. Shout out to our sponsors over at Residency. You can tell I'm rocking the cool gray. You know what I'm saying? The cool gray Residency cap. This is a strap back, Velcro back, excuse me. So make sure you guys go ahead and use my promo code SFBreezy, www.residency.com. Use that promo code SFBreezy. You can save on your total purchase. They got a crazy great sale going on right now. So take advantage of the sale. All right. And use that promo code over at Residency. All right. Make sure you guys go ahead and do that. And shout out to those that have done it. And I'm getting the email saying that you're using the promo code. I really, truly appreciate it because the proceeds from the promo code goes to support the channel, like goes to support what we do here on the channel. So go ahead and take advantage of that. But yeah, man, let's just get down to what kind of like, we'll recap the game for sure. But I want to start with the injuries from yesterday. The San Francisco 49ers had several of them. Very beginning of the game, Isaac Guerrero goes down. It was an ugly play. Offensive lineman rolls on the back of his ankle, kind of bends it awkwardly like the wrong way. And boom, cart. Boom. Just like that. And I'm just like, oh man, I really felt like, praying for the kid. It's appearing right now. It's appearing to be an MCL injury. We'll get updates later on throughout the day once they do the testing. But at least it's the MCL and not the ACL. Either way, it's bad. But it could have been a lot worse. Hopefully it's just a sprain and not a tear, which means it won't need repair. It won't need surgically repairing. It would just need some resting and allowing it to heal on its own. But it was just a tough sled for Isaac Guerrero. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's been dealing with injuries all season long. And unfortunately, he ended the season with this particular injury. Didn't really get a chance to get going in this game. We lost Malik Mustafa. He got cut really bad on the knee, and he didn't return to the game. Talanoa Hufanga ended up getting a concussion. He didn't return to the game. Renardo Green had a groin injury. He didn't return to the game. And you know what's funny? Nick Sorensen I don't think has been good. But man, how different, how great of a draft pick has Renardo Green been? Because the moment he was removed from the game due to the groin injury, the moment you put in Rock Yassin, what do you get? 2 penalties, 2 costly penalties. On top of that, because he's more handsy. The PBUs, and speaking of Renardo Green, shout out to Renardo Green. He has a record for most PBUs by a rookie forever for the 49ers for sure. 13 pass breakups this year. That's why they got him. You're not expecting the interceptions with him. He's a close finishing type of a kid, man. That kid will close out and at the very last second rip the ball out of the wide receiver hands. But I just wanted to give him a round of applause for that. So Renardo Green left the game with a groin injury, didn't return. Colt McKivitz, we saw him get injured. He went down. He limped up. I didn't know you could limp up. But he left with an ankle injury. He already came into the game dealing with an injury. He was questionable at that, but he didn't return. And Chris Conley did return per Kyle Shanahan. He had gotten an elbow injury. I thought Chris Conley, definitely stepped up in the spot. Once Jauan Jennings was removed from the game. I thought Chris Conley four targets, 4 receptions, 59 yards. Like he filled in very well in that X role. Chris Conley did. Will he be back? Perhaps. Will he not? I don't know. It's a lot. Like, you know what I mean? It's a lot to find out. So we shall see. But those were the injuries from the game. And, the 49ers, I just summed up the 49ers season. If somebody would have said this season was injury plagued by injuries, I would have been like, yeah, like from the beginning to the damn near very end. Like injury. And listen, it's football. But man, by the magnitude of injuries for the 49ers, like the first person, I'm the first position other than next to defensive coordinator, well, the third position, third coordinators, defensive coordinator, special teams coordinator. That's where I'm starting if I'm Kyle Shanahan. Then I'm going to go look at this strength and conditioning coach because for some reason my players aren't either eating the proper nutrients because they are just not staying healthy. I mean, a bunch of groin injuries, hamstring injuries, a lot of these soft tissue injuries the 49ers were getting throughout the season. So injuries. So hopefully 2025 will be a lot less injuries for the San Francisco 49ers so that they can compete 1,000% for sure. Quick roster move update. The 49ers signed defensive back Jalen Mahoney. I know you guys are familiar with him, to a future reserve contract per sources out there. So he signed a future reserve contract with the San Francisco 49ers. So we will be seeing him next year at some point. He was up and down. The Niners have used him before. And we'll see what happens with him and his status with the team. I believe he played safety, if I'm not mistaken, or he was definitely a defensive back I just can't remember if he was corner, safety. Will he be special teams? I don't know. But we definitely will keep you updated, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to my man Jalen Mahoney. And I thought he got injured and they had to let him go. But we'll keep you updated with Jalen Mahoney for sure. So make sure you stay locked in right here on the Wayne Breezie channel. All right, so that's just some roster move updates for the San Francisco 49ers. And we're going to go ahead and get down to the recap of this game, man. 24-47. The Niners literally dropped the bomb in this game. And the game took a turn once those turnovers started happening. You know, once the turnovers kicked in, it was a wrap. You know, once the turnover started happening. Now, I thought Josh Dobbs recovered well after the first turnover. But damn, the fumble, interception, 2 interceptions and a fumble. Not good. But for the Niners, question out there, do you want the 49ers to re-sign Josh Dobbs to be the backup quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers? And the key word is backup quarterback. Okay? Keyword backup quarterback. Miss Debbie says need to take a close look at that strength and conditioning trauma for sure. Shout out to Miss Debbie. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah. I'm curious to know. I listen. I love Josh Dobbs. I love the way he speaks. He's very articulate, very educated. You could tell. But he knows what he wants. He knows exactly what he wants. You know what I mean? He wants to play football. Now, does Josh Dobbs want? He specifically said that he wanted a chance to compete. Period. He wants a chance to compete. Period. Now, will he get the opportunity to compete here in San Francisco? That's the question. Now, he definitely won't be able to compete for that quarterback 1 spot. But I think his issue here was competing with the quarterback 2 spot and then losing that to a Brandon Allen, who in my opinion should have not been backup quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. I just feel like if Josh Dobbs was out there and more well-versed in this offense and got the opportunities he needed to get in this offense, there's a possibility that when he came into a game or two, we would have been able to probably capitalize off of some of the things that he was able to do. Now, listen, Josh Dobbs, I think he's been in the league for 8 years. He will be going into his 9th season. What will that number be for the San Francisco 49ers for him to sign here? I think the Niners definitely go out there and offer him the deal. The question is, will he accept the deal? And that's where it gets a little tricky. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's where it gets a little tricky. I think Josh Dobbs is a step up over Brandon Allen, in my opinion. He gives you the ability of not knowing what the hell he's going to do out there on the football field. You saw design runs with Josh Dobbs. And Josh Dobbs, let's just keep it a buck. I think Josh Dobbs played I thought he played great until he started turning over the ball. I thought Josh Dobbs played great until he started turning over the ball. He was 29 for 43. We definitely passed the ball a lot. He got his first career 300-yard game. I'm giving props to where credit is due. Is he a quarterback 1? Absolutely not. Will he be a quarterback 1 for a team next year? I mean, there might be some teams out there that might draft a QB and be like, listen, we're going to bring you in, Dobbs, and we're going to use you as the bridge. Like, you know, I don't know. But I think Dobbs wants to play football. I think you can tell he wants to go out there. He wants to compete. He wants to play football. So will he be back with the San Francisco 49ers? I don't know. I couldn't really read him. I felt like Josh Dobbs felt like he was, what's the word? Misutilized here. I don't think he felt like it was a fair game. I think he knew he was better than the backup quarterback. So to be the emergency quarterback for how many games? 15 of the games? 14, 15 of the games? To be that third string guy, that doesn't really probably sit well with the San Francisco 49ers. So we'll see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Resign Dobbs. I got you. A lot of people like Josh Dobbs. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens. You know, we'll see what happens for sure. But the game was the game. Did anybody expect the 49ers to win this game? I did. I really did. I didn't want them to win, which they didn't, but I kind of expected them to win. I said, there's no James Conner. They'll be able to stop the run. Shoot. I was wrong. Let me tell you what made me mad, right? Let me tell you what made me mad. First of all, let me find out how many rushing yards the Niners allowed in this game. First of all, the defense gave up 393 yards of total offense. The defense gave up 393 yards. The defense allowed 3 backup running backs and a 4th string running back. Not one of these running backs is a starter in the NFL. Has it been? 151 yards on the ground. The Niners defense gave up 151 yards on the ground. Let me tell you why I'm mad. One of those runs was a 46-yard touchdown in the 4th quarter to a running back named Tony Jones. I didn't even see Tony Jones on their depth chart. I'm trying to figure out where Tony Jones came from. But what's been the issue with the San Francisco 49ers defense? Oh, I know. They stopped the run in the first half, and then they let the team run all over him in the second half. I got Jair Brown. You want to know why he scored that touchdown? Because my main man, my little cousin Jair Brown, just whiffed on the tackle. It's like he tackled air. It's like, bro, you got one job. Defensively, maybe even 2. You know, you got to cover 2. But if you're a safety, your job is to do one thing: prevent the team from scoring. You're the last line of defense. If you mess up, if the safety messes up, 9 times out of 10, you've done 2 things. You're giving up an explosive play, and there's a possibility that the team's going to score. I don't know if there's a 49er defender that's had a worse season than Jair Brown. And we could talk about every defender on some later shows. But in this game, he had a nice PBU, and then a bad missed tackle. He let a tight end jump over him. Like, bro, where's your mind, man? You are a football player, man. You are great. You had aspirations of being literally at least a Pro Bowler in your sophomore year. And you want to talk about regression? He might be the person that has regressed the most on the 49ers defense. And I don't know if it's all his fault, but I don't know if it was what he was asked to do. He didn't play this bad in Steve Wilkes' defense, but he was terrible in Nick Sorensen's defense. I'm sorry. Y'all not going to like me because I'm definitely going to take and give out the dish out what I need to dish out for whoever just didn't step up and do their damn job. So he wasn't the worst. He's not the worst player on the team, but definitely I felt like I didn't expect him to take this such a huge regression in year 2. I just didn't. And I truly didn't. And you want to know that was the 46th point. He rushed for a 46-yard touchdown and gave the Cardinals a total of 46 points. They kicked the extra point to get the 47th. You can't make this stuff up. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting the defense to give up 47 points. I wasn't expecting that. I just wasn't. And I'm trying to figure out how you let defensively, I don't care if you got your third stringers, fourth stringers out there. It's those explosive plays, man. They just 3 games back to back to back in the last 3 weeks. They've given up an explosive run. On the road in Miami, 50-yarder to Devon Achane. At home, Jahmyr Gibbs, 30-yarder at home. And then a 46-yard touchdown run to Tony Jones in the fourth quarter. All of these big explosive runs in the fourth quarter on this defense. I think the defense has been the weakest link. And let me know what you think. You know what? Let me put up a poll question. See if I could get a poll question going on. I got to bring it over to this screen so I'm not looking crazy or fugazi. All right, let's do a poll question. All right, and you guys can go ahead and answer in the poll question, and we'll read the results toward the end of the show. All right. Which phase of the team was the weakest link? There's only 3 phases. We're not going to include coaching in there. So we'll go offense. We'll go defense. And I'm going to add special teams. And for giggles, you know what? I'll surprise you. Here we go. Poll question and activate it right now. Which phase of the team was the weakest link? I think defensively, it was the weakest link. I know offensively, we didn't put up the points. We didn't average 30. We were averaging way below the minimum. But think about it. Offensively, we were missing way more all-pros than we were on the defensive side. And then the defense couldn't keep teams from scoring 30 points. Like they were just giving up 30, plus. And I'm talking about all season long. All season long. Not just this game. All season long. What's been the weakest link? Special teams. And in this game, there's no way Brian Schneider should have a job. There's no way if he got faked on a direct snap handoff to DJ Dallas for a 22-yard gain on 4th down because they thought that they were punting and they faked us out. The last time I watched the special teams coordinator get faked out was Richard Hightower, and I think he's with the Bears. There's no Kyle Shanahan bet not. Kyle Shanahan bet not. He bet not. Now, for those that are saying all of the above, come on, man, pick one. Pick one. Special teams includes everything. Special teams includes Jake Moody. It includes everything. So if you feel like that was the weakest link, choose special teams. Don't cop out and say all of the above. I put that in there for stuff and giggles. Shout out to everybody. Like everybody's voting all of the above for sure. But just pick one. I knew I shouldn't have included that. I knew y'all were going to do that. You guys are smarter than the average bear. But back to this game, I think the 49ers, I'm not saying that they didn't show up because they definitely did. But for some reason, like the team just couldn't overcome the turnover war. And I'm a strong believer in losing the turnover battle, lose the game. The 49ers on 3rd down, they only gave up four 3rd downs in this game. So the 3rd down defense was pretty damn decent, I didn't think it was bad. I thought the 3rd down defense was good. But you know what happened in the red zone? The Cardinals got there 4 times and they scored. So red zone defense was poor. He said, I got to do a new poll. All right. Now, you could select a new poll, but just be honest with your thing because the team all over, it was bad. It was bad. All 3 phases were equally bad. So for those that say all of the above, maybe that's your reasoning. I'm not mad at you. But for some of us, Some of us want to pick one. Some of us may want to say it was the damn offense. Offense looked terrible. Then some of us can say that the defense looked terrible. Just the fact that the defense couldn't stop the run, that is terrible, right? That is terrible for me. And in my opinion, I think the defense was really bad. Defense was bad. And in this game, terrible. 393 yards. 393 yards. 393 yards. God dang. Which is whatever. It is what it is. 49ers, some bright spots from the game. Some bright spots for the 49ers in this game. Ricky Pearsall looks like he's going to pan out. It looks like he's going to be a nice wide receiver for the Niners if he can learn, the other wide receiving positions, the X, the Y, and the Z. It's going to be interesting to see how they utilize Ricky Pearsall. I'm definitely excited about that. I'm just thinking of some of the players that are going to be coming back. Love what I saw from Renardo Green. Like, the future is definitely bright for the San Francisco 49ers. Like, the future is bright 1,000% for the 49ers. Got a couple of more Super Chat contributions. I wanted to get to those. Whoa, Jax Knox in the building again. She says, Nick is a sore himself. Coming to a t-shirt near you. All right, we got new t-shirts being created. Nick is a sore. I don't know if you want to waste your money on that because he about to get canned. I think Nick Sorensen is about to be on his way out. 49ers _ throwback. One of the moderators of the show says Hufanga, Hargrave, Juice, Jair B, and Debo can all go. I ain't mad at you, Playboy. I am not mad at you. Hufanga just couldn't really get right. It wasn't the same Hufanga. Definitely needs a full season to get back to himself if he can. I'm not sure where he's going to play in 2025. Hargrave is good as gone. He's going to be released very, very shortly. They restructured that deal. The Niners are going to walk away not owing a lot of money. And Hargrave gets to walk away a free agent and gets the opportunity to bet on himself. Here's the crazy thing about Hargrave. Watch the Niners. I wouldn't be surprised. Let me say this. I wouldn't be surprised if the San Francisco 49ers offer Hargrave another contract, like on a 1-year deal for $7 million or something crazy like that. Think of the Eric Armstead type of deal. Like, I feel like that's how they're going to come at Hargrave. Juice, it's tough to let go of Juice. It's tough because he's just a fan favorite. And when his number is called, he capitalizes. So it's tough to kind of like let walk away from him. I don't know if Juice is going to want to play. He has one more year left on his deal. And so I don't know if Juice is going to want to play on another discounted season. I don't know if he wants to put his body through that, whatever. I understand that he's made a lot of money. He's made the most money for this position with the San Francisco 49ers. I already know. I don't think they walk away. I think they just come at him again with one of those cheap ass contracts, and we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? Jair B, still a rookie. He's not going anywhere. He's not. Sorry, still on his rookie deal. He's not going to go anywhere. They're going to find a way to try to rework him. Debo, I think Debo restructures, to be honest with you, man, and I think Debo wants to stay here. Now the Niners, should the Niners try to trade Debo for Tyreek Hill? Would y'all want that straight up? Tyreek Hill, Debo Samuel trade? I don't know. But I think Debo will be back with the San Francisco 49ers on the last year of his deal. I truly do. I think he'll be back on the last year of his deal. So we'll see what happens, man. But I love all your comments, man. I definitely do. Love all the comments. For sure. But again, the Niners get mollywopped. They get embarrassed. And the best thing about this is that the Niners secured the 11th pick in the draft. Now, before we get to this, I got a question. Did the Cardinals target Jauan Jennings? Hear me out. Jauan Jennings was unleashing life on those DBs. I mean, he was literally, not unleashing it. He was taking lives. Sorry, YouTube. Didn't mean it in that way. He was sunging cats. He was finishing cats. That's a lot better, right? Way better than taking lives. He was literally taking souls out there on the football field, blocking downfield until the whistle was blown. I understood the personal foul calls because I don't think the NFL officials, especially the first one, they really didn't see what went on. But how does Jauan Jennings get the flag if the dude ripped Jauan Jennings' helmet off? That's my first question. The second one, the dude was throwing blows on Jauan Jennings. What did Jauan Jennings is laying on his backside, getting hit in the ribs. I'm trying to figure out. I understand the rules, but why? I don't think Jauan Jennings should have got that second personal foul call. So my question is, he did get it. He did. Do you think that the Cardinals knew that and they targeted him to get him out that game? I'm just curious to know. I'm just curious to know what you guys think out there. Me personally, I felt like it was a targeted situation. They knew Jauan Jennings was already hot, and they knew Jauan Jennings was going to come out and block again, and he did it on a different DB this time, and unfortunately, they got to him, and in the retaliation, you know what I'm saying, I think he got targeted, you know what I'm saying, I think he got targeted. I'm with you, Red Jet Shot. If that's what you're saying, I think they came and they got him and they targeted him, and it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, it sucks because he was so close to the 1,000-yard season, his first 1,000-yard season. He was so close, and I really wanted to see him get that joint, but unfortunately, you know, when your emotions get the best of you, and you going out there with the mindset to be the enforcer, and that's what they teach you to be. That's what he does. He's an enforcer, and he does it. And I didn't think he did anything illegal, but it was the retaliation part. It was what they saw. It was what they saw. You know what I mean? It was what they saw. So I believe so. If you guys don't believe so, it's all good. Let's talk about Klay Kubiak. Kyle Shanahan at the end of the game said that Klay Kubiak was the offensive play caller in this game. And if you look at what the 49ers offense did, I mean, they had a good game. 436 total yards. They finally got a 100-yard rusher. Oh, my gosh, they got a 100-yard rusher. Let's give that a round of applause. Patrick Taylor Jr., 109 yards on the ground on 17 carries. Hell yeah. I can't remember the last time the Niners rushed for 100 yards in the game with one running back. That's how bad. I told you my word for this team was bad. That's how bad this team has been all season long. I can't tell you. I'm still like, wow. But Patrick Taylor Jr. definitely did his thing. So we ran the ball. We threw the ball a lot, though. We threw the ball a lot, like a real lot, 43 times with Josh Dobbs. 436 yards. Josh Dobbs' first career game over 300 yards. Again, 320-something yards for Dobbs. You know, I thought the Niners offense looked pretty good under Klay. So my question is Kyle Shanahan going to relieve the offensive play calling duties in 2025? Was this an interview, a live moment where Kyle's like, all right, let me see what you do. And for the most of it, Klay was calling a pretty daggone good game. Okay? For the most of it, he was calling a pretty good game, you know, until the interceptions. Here's my take on it. I think Kyle Shanahan, as much as we feel like he doesn't listen to what's going on in the media, I think he listens to what's going on in the media. Like big time. Like whoever it is that's doing the listening, I think they listen to it big time. All right? Here, check this out. You ready? This is what Kyle Shanahan did. He let Klay Kubiak call the game, and it was looking good. It was working. We were scoring. We was doing whatever we needed to do, right? Just to look at the numbers where the Niners typically struggle. They struggle on third down still. Hear me out. 5 for 13, third down, 39%. That's bad, right? They did go 2 for 2 in the red zone, so they back-to-back weeks 100%. But Kyle Shanahan went 5 for 5 in the red zone against the Detroit Lions, whereas Klay Kubiak goes 2 for 2 in the red zone against the Arizona Cardinals. Here's what I think Kyle did. Kyle is so narcissistic, right? He listens to what's going on, and then he finds a way to implement something. And I think he allowed Klay to call the game. And he just waited for the, and I know it sounds bad, but he waited for the moment to just say, I told y'all it hasn't been the play calling all season long. Because when you look at it, the Niners got their ass whipped. You could blame that on the defense. But at the end of the day, they only put up 24 points. What happened in this game? Oh, I know. We turned the ball over. So it doesn't matter if it's Klay calling the plays to Kyle or if it's Kyle calling the plays for Kyle. It comes down to the players executing and not making mistakes. Brock Purdy's back there. He's made how many interceptions Brock Purdy have on this season? 11 or 12? 10, 11, 12? Either way, those are all mistakes. Josh Dobbs comes in the game, looks great until he makes the mistakes. And then what happens when the 49ers make mistakes and they give the ball to the opposing teams? The other teams capitalize. That's what happened. Bingo. And so the question is, will Kyle allow Klay to call plays at 2025? Something to think about. But at the end of the day, Kyle proved himself to be right again. Man, you can't be more narcissistic. I thought I was narcissistic. That is as narcissistic as it gets. That is the king. I might be the prince, but that was great, Kyle. That was a good one. Look, first of all, let me just be the first to say that I definitely would love for Kyle Shanahan to get someone in here to call plays, to relieve Kyle Shanahan from play calling. Not that he's bad at it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying he's bad at it. No, not at all. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying, hey, man, find somebody that you trust, man, that could so you can focus on this area of the team. You know what I mean? But look, it is what it is, man. Kyle Shanahan ain't going nowhere. He's going to be the coach. And you know what we get to see from Kyle Shanahan? We're going to get to see Kyle Shanahan really head coach. If you feel like he's not a head coach, fine. If you feel like he's a great head coach, cool. If you feel like he's a mediocre head coach, okay. But I think right now we're going to get an opportunity to see Kyle Shanahan head coach. I think that with this team losing, with the team having a 6-11 record, the team's going to be able to draft. Damn, they were close to picking in the top 10, right? But they're going to be able to draft a good prospect earlier than later, right? I think, and now he gets time to really go through these coaches, really press them, really interview them, press them, see what happens. I think that's really great for Kyle Shanahan. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm excited to see what Kyle Shanahan does. And I'm hoping and I'm praying he makes some changes in the coaching department. That's where it starts to me, in my opinion. Jax Knox back with another Super Chat contribution. Thank you for the Super Chat contributions. For those that do give Super Chats, I truly appreciate them. They definitely support the channel. So if you want to know where those contributions go, they go right back to the channel to get equipment, me, I like quality. Quality is great, and I want to make sure I'm bringing you A1 quality, all right? Jax Knox says, Kyle too dang stubborn. So to answer it, he ain't going to get no dang coordinator. I forgot I had the button. He ain't going to get no coordinator, just like Moody will be our kicker, and Jack sick of it all, right? So Jack is sick of it all. Well, Jack, I agree. Kyle is stubborn, but stubborn people get fed up too, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, stubborn people get fed up. You know what I mean? Like, stubborn people. I think Kyle he is stubborn. I usually stubborn as it gets. But I think Kyle is starting to be a little fed up. I think Kyle was like this mother-freaking kicker. I think Kyle was like this mother-freaking defensive coordinator. I think Kyle was like, this is the 15th year this special teams coordinator sucks. I think Kyle is at the point where maybe he's just a little fed up, Jax, and maybe we'll see some changes. I'm hoping the fed up-ism in Kyle Shanahan will allow Kyle Shanahan to be make these changes. I truly do. You know what I mean? Stovey says, I don't want Kyle having any drafting power. He's going to take Jonty from Boise State in round 1. Well, he's a great running back, though. Don't you think? Like, can you imagine getting Jonty in here? You want Christian McCaffrey. You got that is him. That pass catching, running, great low center to gravity, powerful running back, speed. Like the perfect balance with the first round pick. When we got other needs, that's the issue. So I don't think you know what? If we drafted him, I wouldn't be mad. But I do know we better not draft no god running back with our first pick. I will lose my mother mind if we drafted a running back with the first. You hear me? Do you understand what I'm saying? If we drafted anything other than an offensive tackle or a defensive tackle, which I don't even want to draft a defensive tackle, but there is one or two that I think we should draft, in the first round. At pick 11, there's only one. If you trade back, there's a couple more. But man, if we drafted anything outside that offensive tackle position, bro, just know that I'm either going to blow up on YouTube and end up with 15,000 subscribers, or YouTube's going to ban me. It's one or the other. It's there's no middle. I can tell you that right now. I can tell you that right now. And you're probably right. We will probably draft like you said. Let's talk about Brock Purdy. His extension becomes available. Some people said it becomes available today. Some people said it became available on yesterday, immediately following the game. Whatever. All I know is his eligibility for his extension is right now. It's right now. So the 49ers can jump ahead of all the drama right now. They got a little bread, and they could go ahead and be like, listen, Brock, I love you, man. Let's go ahead and get this down to the nitty gritty. Like, let's go ahead and get down to the nitty gritty. I definitely see some new football news coming up, and we're going to talk about it because you know why? It's 49ers related, baby. So, let's, it's not breaking news because it's just a request, but for those that don't know, the Jets requested a head coach interview with 49ers quarterbacks coach Brian Griese. So Brian Griese, once again, Kyle Shanahan is going to probably 9 times out of 10 get some of his coaches plucked right from him. And if Brian Griese does decide to go and coach the New York Jets, I'm hoping the Jets bring back Rex Ryan. I think Rex Ryan was always good for football. Like, you know what I mean? He was always good for football. But let's talk about this Brock Purdy extension because Brian Griese affects Brock Purdy. If Brian Griese leaves, how does that affect Brock Purdy? Does that change how you feel about Brock Purdy? Did Brock Purdy learn everything he could from Brian Griese to be on his own? Because now you're bringing in another quarterback coach, and then I'm like, oh man, it's going to change Brock. And if it changes Brock for the worst, but if it changes him for the better, you're like, cool, it worked out. But I feel like Brian Griese and Brock Purdy, that was his pick. You want to know why Brock Purdy was drafted? His name is Brian Griese. Do the 49ers trade Brock Purdy to the Jets? They need a quarterback. If he becomes the head coach, does he try to bring Brock Purdy with him? Interesting. Ooh, the draft is about to heat up. Matthew, I'm okay with this season going up in flames. Give us an opportunity to get our ish together and make a run for the Super Bowl and home and finally win the 6. For those that don't know, Super Bowl, whatever number it's on next year, will be in Santa Clara. That's why he said run for the Super Bowl at home. The last time the Super Bowl was in Santa Clara, we didn't make it, but a different time, different measures. I'm with you, bro. 1,000%. This could be a possibility. Jax with another super chat contribution. All right, here we go. Jax Knox with the super chat contribution says Brock P getting $50 million. Some people can get to crying. Oh man. If Brock gets the bag, I'm not going to cry. I would never cry for a player getting the bag. That is not what I'm saying. I wouldn't do that. If Brock gets the bag, then obviously it was deserved. It was earned. Now, do I think he should get that bag? Nah, hell nah. Like here's my offer. 6-year deal, $250 million, maybe 100 to 120 guaranteed. That's 41 something a mil per year. You get 120 guaranteed, so the Niners will pay him between 17 and 20 million a year in the guaranteed money. And Brock Purdy's a happy guy. He's gotten a way bigger deal for a 7th round pick. That is like hitting the mother freaking lottery. Here's why I do that. Number one, I got him for 6 years. Number two, when I think about Brock Purdy, I say to myself, he's great, but when he's not great, he's really bad. And there's moments where he flashes where he's good, but when is Brock not good? Oh, I know. When teams dial up crazy, weird, exotic types of pressure. Can that be learned, though? Possibly. Also, in weather. Can Brock learn how to play in the rain, in the snow, in inclement weather? Can that be a learned thing? I don't know how. He's in Santa Clara, and when they play football, it don't rain a lot. It doesn't rain a lot. So I don't know. But those are times where Brock somehow struggles. Now, can the rest of the offense carry Brock through those little moments of those games? Possibly, if they're fully there. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. 49ers_ throwback. Y'all still want Sam Darnold over Brock Purdy? I know you guys are funny. You guys are funny. You guys are hilarious because Sam Darnold was pure last night. I don't even know what version. That was the Jets version of Sam Darnold. He was terrible. And you knew it was going to happen. Let me just explain to everybody what's going on, okay? Let me just explain to everybody what's going on. First of all, the Detroit Lions, this is their year. They're doing the Detroit Lions how they did the Kansas City Chiefs. If y'all don't understand what I'm talking about, then y'all going to have to go back and understand and figure it out. But this is the year of the Lions. This is the year. This is their year, okay? And so, you know, I don't understand how I watched their defensive coordinator call a bad game. And the offense, Kevin O'Donnell couldn't get his offense going. You can't make this stuff up. Now, I'm not saying it was set up or anything like that. All I know is it was a down year. You know, it was just it's the Detroit Lions year. It's a down year for all the other teams that have been juggernauts. And if the Detroit Lions get to the Super Bowl and they're not facing the Kansas City Chiefs, they will win. If the Detroit Lions get to the Super Bowl and they're facing the Kansas City Chiefs, they're going to lose. Red Jet Shell. That's my joint. Oh, boom. On a stormy day. I'm sorry, man. The new edition in me just be coming out when you mention the song title. But nah, seriously, like Sam Darnold is having a great season. He's a Pro Bowl quarterback for sure. He's probably going to get signed. I don't know if it's going to be with the Vikings or if he's going to end up going to a different team that needs a quarterback. But last night he wasn't good. He wasn't good. You know that guy's got to show up every now and then, right? Like every now and then that guy's got to show up. You know what I'm saying? Every now and then. So we'll see what happens. But Brock Purdy's extension is available, right? It's eligible as of right now. So the Niners can get to work and they can start crunching the numbers. And I gave you what I think that I would pay Brock Purdy. Let me know what you guys think. You know, 6-year deal, $250 million, 100 to 120 guaranteed. I feel like for a 7th round pick, that is money. That is bread. I tell you what, It's better than $900,000, whatever it is he's going to be making on his rookie deal. And so I'm down for it. Like, you know what I mean? I'm down for it. My man Slick68 with the super chat contribution. I appreciate the contributions. Thank you so much. Says, in a perfect world. Let me switch my voice up when I'm talking to Slick. In a perfect world, the 49ers hire great defensive and special teams coordinators and have the perfect season and win the Super Bowl at home, which would be the perfect ending to a perfect story. Tell me that wouldn't go down. I had to add a couple extra perfects in there because we grew up with Mr. Perfect, so you knew I was coming. I had to do that, but I appreciate the super chat contribution. Yeah, man, this is something. This is something that I'm definitely thinking. Definitely don't have the James Earl Jones voice. My voice, I don't have that voice. I just don't have that. Maybe Mike has that voice. I can't get but I can get narrative if I wanted to. Like, you know what I mean? I could get narrative. Look, Boats, that is funny. You mentioned Morgan Freeman. And I was funny because I was online, and Morgan Freeman's favorite singer is Al Green. And on New Year's Eve, there was a party down in Mississippi, I believe it was, or Memphis, one of the two. And Al Green was there, and he called Morgan Freeman up on the stage, and Morgan Freeman got to sing "Let's Stay Together" with freaking Al Green. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. You can't tell me, man, why can't that happen to me though? Like, he already famous. Like, why couldn't that happen? I love Al Green. I ain't gonna bring up the grits. I like Let's Stay. I like Al. I love Al Green. I know he a reverend now. We could take it to church too, Reverend Al. But I would have sung the hell out of Let's Stay Together. I'm so in love with you, yeah. I would have sung the hell out of that joint, man. Come on, Al. Come to Connecticut. Get out of Mississippi. Come to CT. But I was happy to see Morgan Freeman do that. My bad, man. I can go off for days, man. I could go off for days. My bad for the story. I know it's a 49ers show. My bad. Anyway, I think Purdy's going to get extended. So the Niners definitely should extend Brock Purdy. There's not a doubt in my mind that he should not be extended. Will he play out his rookie deal? And the Niners can go that route if things get ugly. But I think the Niners are going to give Brock Purdy the Jimmy Garoppolo treatment, and they're going to be super smart and jump ahead of the curve of the quarterback market, because what's about to happen is Josh Allen is going to get extended too. And I'm not putting them in the same category. All I know is Josh Allen is about to change the game and make that number ridiculously high. So I remember when they did Jimmy Garoppolo, a lot of 49er fans, we complained about it. It was a lot of money until it wasn't. Like until like literally Russell Wilson, I think, got next to $300 million. And, you know, Brock Purdy's not even in that stratosphere. Like, he's not even in that category. The Aaron Rodgers, 300 and plus. I just feel like $250 million, maybe $270. Bump it up a little bit. I think that'll get the deal done. That's just me. So love what you guys think. Look, Mark says extend Purdy. No, really? Nah, man. They're definitely gonna extend them. And here's my reason, right? You have a quarterback that, you know, when stuff is right, you can win. So that's why you're not gonna pay him the crazy super duper max money, because he's not that type of quarterback that's probably going to be able to put the team on his back yet. At least that's what we've seen. He hasn't proven to be able to do that. Come from behind, win in bad weather. He just hasn't proven he could do those things. That's why you're not going to pay him that crazy max money, you know? But none of these quarterbacks we talking about, other than Patrick Mahomes, that's the only one, has won a Super Bowl. None of them. Not Josh Allen, not Jalen Hurts, not Trevor Lawrence, not Tua Tagovailoa. Like, none of them. Aaron Rodgers ain't won in 1,050 years. Russell Wilson ain't ever winning again. Like none of them has done that. Now, I think Brock Purdy gives the 49ers the best chance of competing for a championship year in and year out. The Niners just got to build the perfect infrastructure, and that's where we're going to get to the very end of the show. We're going to get to the very end of the show, all right? Just for those that don't know, the Niners got the last place schedule, all right? And here's a quick glimpse at what that looks like. Last place schedule, they're going to be playing the Panthers, the Jaguars, the Titans, the Bears, right? You know, and the crazy thing is 5 of these 7 teams that they're going to be playing are the worst in their divisions. They got the worst record, right? The Giants, the Browns. Speaking of Browns, they're going to be drafting a quarterback. Give us the Browns. Yes, that's because Deshaun Watson is not recovering properly from this injury, and they're going to probably have to go in a different direction. So this is good for the San Francisco 49ers because they get an opportunity to kind of like get right. Now, they got to still bring it. They still got to bring it. But they've earned this schedule this season. Like, you know what I mean? They've earned this schedule this season, all right? One more Super Chat contribution I think we have right now in the queue. Jax Knox, should we get Ty Hill? I don't know if people want Tyreek Hill if he quit on his team. If that is the story that's going to be painted, I don't know if the 49er fans want Tyreek Hill here. Because word on the streets is he quit on the team, he wasn't injured, and he didn't return to the game. So we'll see what happens. It was, you know how we did, what's his name? You know how Campbell did? Yeah, that's kind of like what Tyreek Hill did. So, you know, we'll see what happens, man. But at the end of the day, I don't think he would fit with the 49ers. I just don't, man. They're not a one-centric type of a team. They are going to spread the ball around. They don't give a who your name is. They don't give who you are. If you're open, you're getting the ball. That's what I like about Brock. That's what I like about him. He's not going to target a guy. He's not going to target a guy. That's what I love about Brock. You know, and so if you're open, you're getting the ball. I told you that the Niners secured the 11th pick in the draft, and it is mock draft Monday. So let's go ahead and get down to this very quickly. I am going to bang out this mock draft via PFF. We are officially the 11th pick. Stuff has been switched around, so PFF definitely updated their stuff on last night. When I mean stuff being switched around, I mean the other teams have been, you know, changed as far as who's got the first pick, second pick, all that type of stuff because of the schedule, because of the season being over. So as you can see, the 49ers will be picking 11th on this list. It is locked, it's signed, it is sealed, and it's delivered. And if I'm the San Francisco 49ers, you know, I stay at 11. I do. I stay at 11. Why? Because you definitely want to, if you want to get that top tier talent, you know, that's going to be on the board. The question is, who's going to be there? Now, in my opinion, I think the first 2 teams are going to be taking quarterbacks, which screws the Giants because I know the Giants wanted a guy. So we'll see what happens. Let me go and check and see what the league did in that first round. So Cam Ward went first, Shador Sanders, went second, Travis Hunter, that would be who the Giants ended up taking. Mason Graham, my number 1 defensive tackle in the draft, went to the New England Patriots. It looks like they got a new coach coming in. I think Mike Vrabel is going to be their coach, and he's a defensive guy, so that makes perfect sense. Malachi Starks, probably the best coverage safety, deep safety in this draft, is going to Jacksonville. The Raiders, they went with the best wide receiver, arguably the best wide receiver in the draft, Will Johnson, to the Jets. All right, so they get a great cornerback. Luther Burden, the third, goes to the Panthers. Nick Scowerton, edge rusher, goes to, I like him too, out of Texas A&M. Big guy out there, right? He's like big dude. He goes to the Saints. And then here we go. And the question is, like, who was going to take the tackles? Like, who was going to get tackle? Who were going to get the tackles? And as you can see, the tackles right away, they go to first tackle off the board is Will Campbell. So this is letting me know that if I'm the San Francisco 49ers, I'm going to address needs. This is definitely a need-based draft for the San Francisco 49ers. And, you know, if you're going to pay Brock Purdy, like if you're going to pay Brock, then it's time to invest in Brock, right? If I'm going to pay my quarterback the bread, then I need to invest the bread into keeping him well protected. You get what I'm saying? So that's just my theory. Those are my thoughts on that. But I do see Abdul Carter there, probably the best edge rusher in the draft. Do you need to get the best edge rusher when you see a Kelvin Banks tier guy on the board? I'm going offensive tackle here. I did pass up on Abdul Carter, and I do apologize. Now, I talked about some defensive interior guys. My number 2 is staring me right in the face. If Javon Hargrave is let go, the Niners interior is bad. I don't give a cool. Malik Collins got one more year. Jordan Elliott, they're not good. They're not good at stopping the run. I'm going to go out there and get me a run stuffing defensive tackle. That's going to be Walter Nolan out of Mississippi. I see Landon Jackson there. I see Jack Sawyer there. I see Tua Malau. I can't say his name, but I see the edge rushers. I see my favorite safety there. I do. I see these guys. I do. But I'm going defensive tackle in the second round. I'm going to get Walter Nolan from Ole Miss. Now, I know a lot of people, the fan favorites is Cam Scatterbo. We in the third round. Do the Niners pull the trigger and draft a running back in the third round? I see questions asking me, how did I pass on Genti? I went with what we needed, not with the best player available. I went with what the 49ers needed. I'm bearing that they're investing in Brock Purdy. He's going to be the quarterback of the future. So it's time to really focus on protecting him. That's your assets. So now how do you protect your assets? Oh, I know. You get the best offensive lineman you can get, and you bring some guys back in free agency if you can, right? And you also see some guys develop. Love the safety out of Ohio State, Ransom. We need linebackers. We need cornerbacks. I don't expect Charvarius Ward to be returning to the San Francisco 49ers. That's just what it is. He won't be back, in my opinion. But I do want a safety. I want a deep safety. Nick plays in the box. My guy is gone. I do like Lathan Ransom. I just need a ball-hawking safety. Like, that's what I need. Somebody that can play safety, that can cover, that has the speed. Just looking at his trend, he's a bigger safety too, 6'1", 210. Not sure if the speed is going to be there. You know, I'm not sure. I'm not really sure if the speed is going to be there from him. I need to see him run, but this is just based off of running. Devin Neal, nobody's talking about this running back out of Kansas. Don't worry, I'll be doing my breakdown films for the Patreon members, which is where you can get the exclusive content for the on the Patreon. We definitely need to improve at the guard position. Got to get better at the guard position. 6'6", 320. A lot of these guys now. Donovan Jackson, they got him listed as a tackle, right? But he's gonna be a guard. He's gonna be a guard. Don't worry about this grade. He's gonna be a guard, and I think he's gonna be a damn good guard in the NFL. I do. I know if I don't go here and get him, we not gonna get him. So it's interesting, man. This is where it gets tricky, man. In rounds 3, do I go best player available? Do I go Cam Scatterbo? You know what? Bump it. Let's get the. I'm gonna go with this. Yeah, I'm going with the safety here, man. I'm sorry. I got running backs for days, man. And look, he's available. He's still here. There's a reason. There's a method to my madness right here. You know what I mean? Method to my madness. Now, look, I talked about Devin Neal. I feel like Devin Neal will be a better fit than Cam Scatterbo because you get the speed from Devin Neal. Boat says no drafting running backs. All right, so I'm not allowed to draft a running back. No freaking problem. I'll stay away from the running backs. If that's what you say, I'll stay away from them. Definitely think we take a quarterback in this draft. Do we go with one of the best, like a top tier quarterback? If I'm going to get a quarterback, my quarterback is Jackson Dart, but he's gone. He's probably gone. No, he's right here. He's right here. This is who I want. This is the guy I want. Now, how can we get him? If we don't make a run, he might be my 5th round pick. I know they got him projected to go low here, but that's not how it works. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. You know what I'm saying? I do like these running backs. I do think they would be great for the team, but I don't think the Niners go running back relatively early. And I think that the draft is going to be pretty deep. Even Katron Allen is here from Penn State. I feel like you can get running backs for sure. I do want to look at the guard position. Khalil Mullins, another running back. The running backs will go. I do want to address the linebacker position. I like Jack Kaiser from Notre Dame. I'm not drafting Will Howard. I don't like Will Howard. And I'm not saying that because he's from Ohio State. I just drafted a safety from Ohio State. You know what I'm saying? Damian Martinez is another good back. Connor Cobley is a guard that I think will come in here and play really well at the guard position. I know they got him as a right guard. Feel like he can play left guard if needed be. He's probably like my sleeper pick if I'm gonna focus on guard. But I think I'm gonna go with Kaiser, the linebacker. Run defense, not great in coverage. But we don't know what we're doing with Dre Greenlaw. We're hoping we bring Dre Greenlaw back. But we don't know what we're going to do with Dre Greenlaw. So again, I'm passing up on a lot of talent up here. You know, when you think of the running back position, you see where the ranking is. Should the Niners go running back? A lot of people say no. You can get a running back. You can get it in undrafted. They've made some undrafted guys work. They've also drafted running backs. So where are they going to spend the money on a running back? It depends. I don't think they draft a running back before the 5th round. So 5th round and below is where they'll get a running back. Now, if these guys are around in the 5th round, it's a done deal. I like Connerly as well, but he's a tackle. I don't know if we double up on the tackle position, but there you can see 6'4", 315, a little on the shorter side, but I like I like him. Like he's really good. And he has some guard snaps. Did I go edge yet? Let's see. What did I address so far? So far, we got offensive tackle, defensive interior, Walter Nolan, and then we drafted a safety. I drafted a safety really high. I really feel like that is a position where the Niners can just get so much better at the safety position. And they get a ball hawking safety back there. That can help them out big freaking time. I didn't get a quarterback. I do like Jacob Parrish from Kansas State. So let's go ahead and get Jacob Parrish. He is on the board. Look, Cam Scatterable is there. I said 5th round, right? I said the 5th round. So I technically can't draft a running back yet. I said 5th round. So we got our linebacker. We still got to get an edge. So let's go look at the edge rushers. There's Savion Jones, Derek Moore from Michigan. Oh, how is he this low? Wait a minute. Y'all don't know anything about Danny Dennis Sutton. He's probably my 5th best edge rusher in this draft from Penn State. He's he's top 5 for sure. Why is he ranked this low? I don't know. We just got to steal in the draft. If y'all don't know about this kid, look him up. And I know everybody's on Abdul Carter. Fine. Understand. But I tell you right now, look up Danny Dennis Sutton. Johnny Dell, what's going on, baby? Big Daddy Niner says we need a center and a left guard in case Trent retires. Yes, center, not too sure we're going to draft the center. I don't think there's any centers in this draft that can give us better than what Jake Brendel is doing, and that's bad, right? But I think we addressed the center position in free agency. I'm going to leave it to the free agency for them to address the center. Big Daddy, I drafted the tackle for Trent Williams and Kelvin Banks early. I do think we need a guard. So let me go see if my guard is still available. That is a guard that I'm hoping he's here. And we were talking about centers, and he's gone. Jake Majors, a lot of people like him. I don't. Seth McLaughlin. Miles Frazier. I'm looking for a guard that can play zone. Here it is. And we found one. Klay Webb, Jacksonville State. All right, Jacksonville State. We said we needed a guard. Got us a guard. You asked for a guard, I got us a guard. Say less. Guard done. Now, I talked about getting a running back, and I said that there was a running back that I liked from Penn State. And I wouldn't be mad if they got Katron Allen or if they went with Khalil Mullins from Michigan. But Allen, to me, fits the zone, rushing grade, gap grade. Like he can bleed. It's not the best as a zone running back. We say zone because we talk about outside zone. So the question is, how well are these guys getting to the outside? And that's what you want to look for, right? The speed to the outside. And so that was what Penn State did. They had the two running backs, right? One was better at outside zone. One was better at inside running. The Niners are kind of going that route. Do we have enough outside guys? Do we need more inside guys? That's going to be the question. So I'm looking at the running backs, and I'm looking at Khalil Mullins, and I feel like he gives you the best of both worlds, right? Not a 1,000-yard rusher last year, but definitely finished with 12 touchdowns. He can catch a little bit out of the backfield if you utilize him in that way. His great hands. You can see he was targeted 8 times with 6 receptions. Not a huge surplus in the run game. I know nobody wants me to draft anybody from Michigan. I do want to look at Damian Martinez. He might be a better prospect. 1,000-yard rusher, 10 TDs, 17 receptions on 21 targets, 204 yards. Looks like it's going to be him. So I'm going with Damian Martinez out of Florida. Either way, you're getting a steal at this point if you draft a running back. So I got us a running back, but I waited to the late fifth. We're into the 6th round, and then we got the 2 7th round picks. All right. So the Niners have 10 picks in this draft. All right. We have 10 picks in this draft. So we'll see what happens, but we got 10 picks in this draft. All right. So running back is pretty much there. I think Taylor was on a 1-year deal, Boats. So I think Taylor is done. Mason is a restricted free agent, so they'll bring him back. And these guys are coming off of injuries, right? So I think Taylor is the one that's out, right? I don't think you bring him back because you draft a guy. So why spend money on a free agent when you could just get a free one pretty much in the draft? That's my theory. CMC will be 1. We don't know how severe the IG injury is going to be. So you always got to go running back. They always like to, fill in the stable. And I don't think we're drafting that's a great question. He says, so we're drafting the 4th string running back. I mean, we just did that. That's what Isaac Arindo was, right? I think what you do is you draft running backs and you find the value. And if they have an opportunity to play, you bring them in here and they play, they get the opportunity. Now I didn't go wide receiver. They might trade. They might move on from Elijah Mitchell. We don't know what they're going to do with Elijah Mitchell. So that's a great question. That's a great thought about that too. So we'll see. Has it been able to stay healthy? And that's one of those guys that I was talking about. So we'll see what happens, man. Like, you could be right. We might not go running back. So look, these are the positions that we addressed. We got a 6th round pick and 2 7ths coming up in the 6th round. So we went tackle. We got defensive interior. We got Lathan Ransom. Jacob Parrish is our cornerback. Dennis Sutton is our edge rusher. Klay Webb. We got the guard, so we addressed the trenches for sure. We got us a running back in the 5th round. All right, and now we are on to the 6th round in this draft. And I feel like, as far as the positions, who do the 49ers need to look at? Where do they need to address? I definitely think they go get a tight end. Do they go with what they know from Iowa? They produce pretty good tight ends. I don't like any of the tight ends in this draft. The tight ends, this is not the draft for tight ends for me. Just for me. I think they go undraft. They undraft the tight end. They get one of those UDFA guys. Wide receivers, we haven't really checked on the wide receivers. I'm just trying to see if anyone of the names kind of like stick out to me. I think if you didn't go wide receiver early, you really got to look for a guy with speed because you need to improve, not just, you got to improve your special teams. You got to find a way to make special teams better, and so, kid from Maryland, he's a Turpin. Let's see. All right. 96 receptions. He's a 1,000-yard receiver. His route yards per route is there. I just want to see he had 8 drops. That's a problem. But he did force 26 missed tackles, 8 deep catches. He's good in the screen game. He can line up in the slot. 35 of his catches were from the slot. Do they go with another slot guy? Again, man, I don't know the speed of these players. That's what when we get the speed, it'll boost these guys up. You're going to see guys change all over the daggone depth chart. You're going to see them change all over the draft board once the combine happens and some of their games, the Senior Bowl and things like that. I do like C.J. Taylor, but we already drafted a safety. Did we get a safety? Who did we get for our safety position? Oh, we got Lathan Ransom. Yeah, we got our safety early. So used to not drafting safety that early, but he's never really available. Do we bring in a couple of edge rushers? Possible. Do we look at? I don't think they waste the pick on a center. Don't forget, we still have what's the center from Michigan last year? What's the center? I can't believe it. I can't remember his name. And he got called up the past 2 weeks. Maybe he gets an opportunity next year. I don't know. I really don't know. But the draft is what it is, man. You're gonna fill them up with players, and you're gonna hope that they pan out. You're gonna hope that they pan out. All right. So for the final pick, let's just go tight end because we didn't draft a tight end. So let's just see which tight ends are best available at this point. And let's check out the kid from Utah. I want to see his receiving grade. You can see his run blocking grade isn't good, so he's just more of a receiving tight end. Do they go this route? I don't know. I don't think that they go this route. I think one of the things that they need from their tight ends, which helps them a lot in the run game, is blocking. You know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting to see, what it is. You know what I mean? Very interesting, in my opinion, just to see what it is. Hey, Cynthia. So let's just see what happens. Let's go with the kid from Utah. All right. I'm going to pick the best tight end available. And then bada bing, bada boom. Bada bing, bada boom. All right. Let's see. What else do we have? We got one more pick in the 7th round. Let's go to quarterbacks. Save the quarterbacks for last. Who is available? That's the question, because I missed out on my guy. I know that for sure. So I don't think that they draft just any quarterback. I do like Brady Cook from Missouri. From Mizzou. Love Brady Cook. He threw to some really good wide receivers out there. So we're going to go ahead and just draft Brady Cook because I don't think Dart is here anymore. Jackson Dart gone. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get Brady Cook, and that's going to be the 49ers mock draft on this mock draft Monday. You know what I mean? This mock draft Monday. All right, here we go. They said that I should have went with Abdul Carter over Kelvin Banks, but we still got the A grade. We got the A for Walter Nolan. Probably drafted the safety a little too early. They didn't like the value for sure. Got an F for both round 4 and round 5 picks. We finished with a B. Don't know how that even averages out to a B when you get 2 Fs, but we'll freaking take it. You know what I'm saying? We'll take it. Guys, for any questions, man, make sure you hit me up. Patreon, I answer questions as well. You guys can get me to answer questions if you're on the Patreon. So join the Patreon. I'll be doing the exclusive videos there. I'll be breaking down the players. I think with the Patreon is I'll start breaking down the players on my mock draft. So you guys can get a little bit more insight on each mock draft on Monday. So every week when I do the mock draft Monday here, I'll break the players down on the Patreon for you guys. How about I do that, right? So we can kind of like get a sense of what these guys are looking like come down to the bowl games that we got left, as well as the Senior Bowl. Fish and Chips, what's going on, man? I see you out there. But what a season, man. The season has been, I don't want to say it was a great season. It was the last game of the season. I feel like the 49ers definitely got embarrassed by a divisional team. When you lose to a divisional team and you lose in that way, it's embarrassing. I don't care if the players say it or if the coaches say it. No one doesn't have to say it. It's my words. It was an embarrassing loss because they got beat really bad. Now, had it been a closer game, it wouldn't have been an embarrassment. But the way that they lost, that was an embarrassing loss. So, let's see if the 49ers can definitely get themselves together, get their bodies right, get their minds right as they get ready to go into this offseason. I think the team is going to start with getting these coaches Got to get the right coaches in the building. Got to get the right coaches for these players. I think that's where Kyle Shanahan's going to be starting everything. We should know some news really soon on the coaching and who's going to be here and who's not going to be here. All of that stuff will be coming down very shortly. Truly appreciate everybody for tuning in. And you guys are the best, right? You guys are definitely the best. All right. So listen, man, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for sure. And do me a favor. Become a member of the Breezy Bunch crew so you can enjoy all the cool perks. Go shopping at residency.com. Use promo code SFBreezy. Until the next time, let's keep it faithful to the Bay. Peace.